Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. What do we do every Wednesday? Hey guys, I'm Joni Bates, founder and CEO of JB & Co., powered by Keller Williams. And every Wednesday for the past 3.5 years, it is Whiskey Wednesday. We started off as Wine Wednesday, and truth be told, I have quite the dark liquor collection. And I love my teacups. And I was always drinking my whiskey out of a teacup before they had the cups at Buc-ee's. I'm just saying. So we switched this over this year to Whiskey Wednesday. How is everybody doing? Is everyone doing well? I hope you are. I hope you are. A little housekeeping. We are live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And then this also gets posted to my LinkedIn page. It also lives on my website. So it's all over the place. So if you have any questions about real estate, go through. There's so many videos, podcasts. We're on Spotify too. About you name it about real estate, it's in there. You want to know about 1031 exchanges, buying, selling, listing, investing, trusts, all of it. We talk about it. All right. Today, because it is, what is today? April 24th. We are well into spring market. We are in spring market. It is popping here in the ATL. And I want to talk to you guys about something that comes up often, and it honestly should come up more often. We are talking about pre-listing, paint all over me, pre-listing appraisals. You're probably like, Joni, what the heck is that? And why on earth would you need a pre-listing appraisal? Well, let's talk about it. It's exactly what it sounds like. Anytime you buy a house, say you're a buyer, you have to have an appraisal on that home because the bank requires it. You're getting, unless you're cash. If you're cash, that's an optional thing. But if you're doing any kind of lending, an appraiser is going to come out to the house. If you're going to refinance, an appraiser is going to come out to the house. Now, an appraiser is very much like a realtor. They're a 1099 and they get hired by different groups. I hire appraisers all the time to do pre-listing appraisals. You, as a homeowner, can do the exact same thing. And you have to wonder, like, what's the benefit in that, right? Why would we do that? If you have comments, just like any other time we do this thing, go ahead and ask me anything, and then I can see the questions, and they will run across the bottom. And we'll just talk about it, right? If you want to know the shade of lipstick, I'll tell you what that is. Just kidding. Anyways. Okay, so pre-listing appraisals, we are going to get right into it. Let's first talk about finding an appraiser. I mean, you can just go through and Google it and find an appraiser. My suggestion to you, if you aren't working with an agent, is to find an agent and just ask those questions. Who do you use as an appraiser? Can I have a recommendation? Also, a trusted local lender. Who do you guys use as an appraiser? And then reach out to that appraiser directly, okay? When you're talking to these appraisers, it's very, very important that you ask some very, very specific questions, okay? You do have to make sure they have all their credentials in line and ask for them. I ask for their number. I have a real estate number, 401836. That is my license number. Ask for their license number, okay? How long have they been an appraiser? What states are you certified in? And do they specialize in appraising properties like mine? Now, some appraisers just by default end up appraising more commercial property, or they might end up appraising more luxury townhomes in, Midtown. There's just different niches that people have. So make sure that your property is the appraiser's forte, or at least it's in their wheelhouse, okay? Real basic stuff. Okay, and then let's look at this one. We don't want it to do that. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now we want to get information about the process. What's the process and timing for them doing this pre-listing appraisal? How long will it take to receive and get the report? And are there any factors that could expedite or delay this? Okay, so this is what's important. When you guys are considering a pre-listing appraisal, let's back up a second. Why? Why would you want to spend $600 for a reputable appraiser? Why would you want to do this? There's lots of different reasons. And what I usually call it is a unicorn, that your particular house is different from anything else in your neighborhood for whatever reason, or it's different within your area from where your house is, your subject property, out by 2 or 3 miles. There's something extremely unique about your property that does not allow it to comp out to your neighbors. That's pretty much it. And I call those unicorn homes. Perfect example. You have lived in your house for 30 years, okay? But the entire time you were in your house, you continued to update, upgrade, finish things, put on a basement, add a pool, extensive landscaping, hardscaping, all the latest security systems, everything in there. And your neighbors maybe didn't do that. Maybe they didn't keep up with that. So the comps that are going to come in, let's say in your mind, I put over, $250,000 into this house. I would think that my home value would be $575, but everything around you is saying $420, $410. Like, I know that's not right. I've spoken to 3 realtors who came over and they were really smart. And they kept telling me, well, the comps say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with this many square feet and it should be $410. But you're like, no, that's not it. So that's a perfect example to bring in an expert to write this report. Now, this is not a cheap thing. Like I said, it's going to be about anywhere $400 to $600 depending on your square footage. But what's valuable with this is you now have the report. The expert has come out and said, dink, this house is worth this, and this is why. The way that report reads is it's extremely small print. I'm just going to get your glasses, okay? It's extremely small print, but it is detailed and it justifies every adjustment. So, perfect example, subject property is right here. They will take properties around you, 123 Main Street, 124 Main Street, 175 Main Street, bring all those together and say, okay, I'm creating a baseline. These homes are similar, but this subject property has hardscaping. Make an adjustment, goes up. This subject property has extra finished square footage in the basement that hasn't been recorded on tax records for whatever reason. More square footage, value goes up. So it has to first establish a baseline and then justify quantitatively, analytically, the increase in value compared to the baseline. That is exactly what you're paying for, okay? Now, the best part of that is when you do go to sell, you have that piece of paper. That paper is gold. You have an appraisal. You can say in there, priced according to the latest appraisal. You can say priced just below appraised value. That gives you in your listing more clout. It gives you more stability. It gives you more professionalism. And ultimately, it will get you a higher net. Because that's what you're looking for, right? When you're selling your house, you want to make money. You just don't want to be like, my house is worth this, and I got this, and I got that. No. You want that kind of stuff. That's your business. But what you're trying to pull out of that appraisal is that value because you have a unicorn home. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. Let me know if that makes sense. My fellow agents out there, when should you be doing this? Honestly, in some markets, in some particular luxury homes, you do it all the time. If we're talking luxury homes, it's very difficult to establish. I mean, you've got Italian marble. You might have a chef's kitchen. You might have a scullery. You might have different things that are super updated. compared to the mini mansion down the street, which might still be in 1986. On luxury homes, I would recommend that you always provide a pre-listing appraisal, okay? And it's up to you if you consider that part of your concierge package or not. Again, it is not cheap. It is well, I guess it would be equivalent to probably really good pictures and drone work. That's the same kind of cost, okay? And there are companies out there, I'm not going to name it because I haven't asked them if I could say this, but I have used, and their appraisal is so good that they will back it up. If the home, they appraise it, and then you go and sell it, and that appraisal comes in low from the lender that just did it, they will fight for you. They will use their appraisal as the insurance policy for that higher number. And they will fight for you to make sure that you get that higher net. So it's valuable, and you're also increasing your vendor base, your vendor partner base. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? All right, so let's see what this one says. Property valuation, determine the value of a property like mine. Can you explain methodology and criteria used in your appraisal? Basically, that's kind of what we just talked about. We want to know beyond square footage, beyond conditioned space, beyond how many bedrooms, bathrooms, XYZ, what other things are you going to look at? Now, this is a part where, in some of the homes that I have sold personally, this is true. The kids are very little. One appraiser came through. All 4 kids were running around crazy. The house was a wreck. The kitchen was full of dishes. And he was just like, I'm going to get out of here really fast. This is insane. Quickly went around the house. Okay. The appraisal came in. I was like, oh, that's not right. Okay. A lot of times you have an opportunity, if you pay for it, to get a second appraisal. The second time around, kids went to the neighbor's house. The house was pristine. When that appraiser got there, I just happened to be making pancakes. He had some pancakes, cup of coffee. We had a nice conversation. My appraisal was higher. I'm not saying that, we have any influence over an appraiser because that's literally illegal. But the product, the moment, we're all human. We all get a vibe. I'm not saying those appraisals were very different, but create that environment when you're getting an appraisal, okay? And not just that. Your appraiser is going to be looking at things like, I noticed there's crown molding in here and crown molding throughout the entire home. I've noticed that the baseboards are the big luxury baseboards. I'm noticing that every countertop in here is granite. Those kind of things matter. And those are also important things to point out. Now, you cannot sway an appraiser. That's just dumb and illegal. But what you can do is have a list of your improvements. What your agent can do is have a list of those improvements. Also, have a CMA report justifying what that agent feels like this home should be valued. Provide that, okay? It is every single time I sell a house, and it's an appraisal day, there is a report sitting on the kitchen cabinet. Kitchen counter right there. It's very obvious. The appraiser is going to flip through it and be like, I see what Joni did here. I understand that. I just did their job. I just did some work for them. They can go through and find that comp and go, yeah, I agree. I'll use that. You are not swaying. You are being a professional and assisting in the process because you've already done it, y'all. You've already priced homes. You've already been in that property. You're the listing agent. That property is your baby. You know exactly what that home is worth. And you're just giving that information to that appraiser. Let's see. We talked about that. Let's see what this question. Hey, honey, how are you? I'm so glad you're talking to me here. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Comparable properties. What comparable properties will you use to assess my property value? How recent are the sales of these comparable properties? This is a tough one. Guys, when you're in a good neighborhood, people don't leave. They don't leave. Let's talk about that. A neighborhood has to experience the market in order for the market value to catch up to the neighborhood. What does that look like? You have a fantastic neighborhood. Everyone likes each other. You're in a great school district. Everyone's taking care of things. You're really connected. The kids are little, they're growing up together, parents are doing all sorts of fun things together. No one wants to leave. And what happens? The kids leave, the parents are still there, they still like their neighbor. They're there for 30, 35 years. The mortgage is paid for. And this happens in East Cobb all the time, just a little bit older neighborhoods. They're like, yeah, guys, I think it's time for us we're going to go to Florida. We're going to go do something cliche like that. Really? What are you thinking about listing? $275, house is paid for. I'm not really sure what it's worth. Holy cow. Please, 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 please don't do that. If you're the first person in the neighborhood that has been stagnant and has not experienced the market, you are going to take the first hit because no one's going to really understand how much that home should be worth. Notoriously, people will come in way low. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars low, really low, because in their mind, they're like, I'm walking away with $275,000. My home's paid off. I'm going to go do this that's already paid for in Florida. Pre-listing appraisal, so that you know the true value of your home. Your neighbors will thank you, okay? Chances are that 275 is actually more like 475. And then you can set the comp for the neighborhood. Now, if you just say, I'm just going to do 300, whatever, for sale by owner buy. Oh yeah, it'll sell really fast. But then you created a really low comp for that neighborhood. And everyone else is going to have to try to catch up and compete with your comp. That's why, y'all, for us real estate agents, appraisals and comps, closed purchase and sales price is super critical. And when you're in your neighborhood and you're like, guys, I just got to sell, I got to go. And then you dump your house. Well, what did you just do to all your neighbors? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But what I'm saying is it's a unique situation where you literally affect everyone around you when you dump a house. What I mean by dumping a house is the average price right now, let's say in West Cobb, is about $182 per square foot. Some stuff can go up to like 203 and 204 if it's got all the things and it walks in and it presents really well. I'm talking about dumping about $40 to $50 below market value per square foot. So you're coming in at like 130, 120, maybe 142. You just tanked your neighborhood. It is going to take them an entire cycle, basically another spring market, to bring those comps back up to where they were. So just be aware your behavior affects others. I'm just saying. So recent sales and comps. Comps are real, y'all. You want to mess up your neighborhood, go ahead and dump your house as a for sale by owner. They'll never forgive you. Okay. Property valuation. Yeah, we did that. Let's talk about this one. Property improvements. Will you consider any recent improvements or renovations to my property? How do improvements impact the overall value of the property? It's very easy. There's a formula. Okay. If you've added square footage that is conditioned, that is a huge improvement that will directly affect your bottom line. If you have energy efficient appliances, HVACs, etc., that will absolutely affect your bottom line. If you are updated, and what I mean by updated is you have updated paint, you have updated floors, the curb appeal is on point, it will absolutely show within your value of your property. Okay. So those are things that you can do. Market trends. What current market trends or conditions will you consider in your appraisal? How do you account for fluctuations in the real estate market? How they account for it, they appraise low. We've experienced this. Because this is a report that is going to survive this, it's going to be attached to this home. They are going to come in a little bit low. We've experienced that, sweet friend, because they're protecting themselves. They know where they're kind of like, this makes sense to be here, up here, and they come in here to protect themselves. So the fluctuations in the real estate market, it's not really going to affect the appraiser. And appraisers are going to behave differently depending on who's employing them. Let's think about that for a minute. Appraisers are usually working for a lender, a bank, a loan officer, and they are going to be accountable to what that bank loan officer group wants them to do. So if it appraises low, it's because the bank is being super, super, super cautious. And then you have a gap there. And if you have a home when you're under contract that appraises low, then both parties need to come together, and they usually meet in the middle, give, take, and then get to the closing table. Otherwise, it's called an appraisal contingency within your offer. And that is an opportunity for you to negotiate or leave. You can walk away from a deal if you can't find a meeting of the minds with an appraisal. So this is very important. This is do or die stuff. This is the stuff where people's futures are on the line because of an appraisal. And we have heard in the past during the unicorn years, i.e. the pandemic, where people were waiving appraisals, waiving this, waiving that. Well, what are we seeing now? I'm going to go to church here. The cycle of real estate happens in about 18 to 24 months. And what that basically means is in our human, just our lives, our social lives, and the way things work, every 18 to 24 months, people go through some stuff. Okay. What I mean by go through some stuff is someone's going to graduate, someone's going to be born, someone's going to die, someone's going to be deployed, someone's going to get divorced, or someone is going to want to downsize. We call those the Ds. All right. They all start with the D. 18 to 24 months in everyone's life, that's something within those D ranges are going to happen. If you happen to have purchased a home during the pandemic and you find yourself 18 to 24 months later saying, I have to sell, you will have a short sale or a foreclosure, or you're going to take a loss. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That is a fact. If anyone is trying to sugarcoat stuff for you, they're lying. Because pandemic prices were inflated because people were waiving appraisals and they overpaid. If you overpaid and you're trying to get out of it now, chances are when you add commissions in and you add everything else in, you are just a little short. And call me, I can help you. I've got people who can help you, but that's a world of hurt. So that when you don't waive an appraisal, if you're going to waive an appraisal, you best have a really good real estate agent right next to you who knows their stuff, who's going to make sure that by chance, if one of the Ds happens to you in the next 18 to 24 months, you have a good exit. We can talk about exits later. That's a whole nother story. Okay. I went to church there. Sorry. Appraisal report. What will be included in the final appraisal report? Will the report include photos and detailed descriptions of the property? The answer is yes, absolutely. It is so detailed it will make your head hurt. It is a standard form with lots of little checks that go through it because I'm not saying it's not a legal document, but it is about as close as you can get to it. It is an appraiser's appraisal of your home. And you will never have a question about how they feel about your screened-in porch because it's going to be all in there. So yes, you will receive a detailed report with pictures and detailed descriptions of the property. All right, cost and payment. Most are going to take the usual credit card. They're going to take a check. They're going to do all the things. They can do it through their portal, whatever. But again, this is not an inexpensive thing. We're talking, again, anywhere between $300 and $600 depending on the square footage of your home. Okay, so it's something to plan for. All right. Recommendations based on your appraisal. Are there any improvements or changes I should consider before listing my property? What factors could potentially increase or decrease my property value? Hugely good question that you absolutely, if you're paying that appraiser, you ask that question. Absolutely. And here's what they're going to say. Kitchens, primary bathrooms, primary bedrooms, conditioned square footage of finished space. Those four things are money. Okay? When I say square feet, You and I might be like, okay, so finished square footage is like this room that I'm sitting in right now. It's my ladies' lounge. It's painted. It's got furniture. It's finished space. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about, does it have a vent that has a duct attached to it? And is there drywall? That's it. That's all you got to do. That's considered finished square feet. And that adds value. So it's something to consider if you're looking at selling your home. You can actually put in this much money and get this much money. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see what this is. Follow up. Will you be available to answer any additional questions I may have after receiving the appraisal report? Can I contact you if I need further clarification or information? If they don't say yes, because you're interviewing these people or you're asking me, and then I'm going to give you people who do this. They really do need to explain what they thought, where they were at. Again, though, by nature of the business, they are always going to come in a little low. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't sell your house for more than the appraised value. That is literally the idea. It is a winner chicken dinner when I know the appraised value of a home, and then I am the buying agent, and we go and we're able to purchase underneath the appraised value. We just got equity on that home, right? And vice versa. It's the same good. Okay. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. So today we talked about pre-listing appraisal. Why do you do it? Why would you pay for it? In summary, you don't know what you don't know, particularly if your neighborhood has not experienced the market and you are looking to sell your home and you quite frankly have no idea. You have an ish of what you think, but your comps are limited. Please spend the money, call an agent, get an expert in there or a couple of them, because I tandem all the time. I have lots of properties where I'm like, you know what? We are truly dealing with a unicorn here. I need to bring in the big guns and we need to check this out. We need to go through everything and establish what the value of this home is. So we create a baseline without saying, well, I feel like it's here. It takes a lot of guesswork out of it. Okay. I hope you guys are doing super good, enjoying all this beautiful weather in the ATL right now. All my friends up in Michigan, I know you're getting a cold snap and you're hating life. The ATL is open. So come on down and see us. Okay. This is Joni Bates, founder and CEO of JB & Co., powered by Keller Williams. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.